Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club for the Calcutta Races Christmas meeting. 4-day Thursday, 26 December 2024 Boxing Day races, the day of our Oaks and the Army Cup. The first race of the afternoon is the Star Angel Handicap for horses weighed 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. We got 13 runners going to purse for this one. The first runner we're looking at is Stitch in Time. Couple of starts for Stitch in Time in this season. Race number 21 finished on 4th. Race number 36, the one we are looking at, Stitch in Time was in 7th spot. Made up couple of placings towards the rear end of the race and eventually finished on 5th of 14 runners. The winner here was Italian Gold. Next up we got a couple of runners. We're looking at Aurum and Sun God. Aurum has had a couple of starts in this season. Earlier start in race number 13, finished on 6th. In this start, this is from race number 39 where Aurum went to 1100 meters, was in 5th spot, made up placings in the fag end of the race, then finished on 4th. Sun God on the other hand has also had a couple of starts in the season. Race number 33 finished on 4th of 12 runners. In this race, Sun God, after travelling in 2nd spot for most while, eventually finished on 3rd of 7 runners. Number 3 is Impressive Annie. On debut, Impressive Annie was running here, and this was the previous season in race number 171 where Impressive Annie took the turn in 7th spot and stayed on in 7th of 9 runners. The winner here was Snow Leopard. Impressive Annie today the mount of Arb Hebel. Couple of runners again, To the Stars and MSG Fantasy. This is from race number 19 where To the Stars was running here on debut, was in 7th spot as they ended the home straight when asked for an effort, eventually finished on 8th of 10 runners. 11 MSG Fantasy was in 10th spot, made some late gains, eventually finished on 7th of 10 runners. The winner here was Eagle's Flight. Number 5 is Maiden Heaven. 3 starts for Maiden Heaven during the monsoon season. In race number 1 finished on 3rd. In race number 14 again finished on 3rd. Last start was in race number 27. The one we are looking at, this was over 1400 meters, was in 2nd spot, was Maiden Heaven into the home straight. Then tried to battle on but eventually dropped back and eventually finished on 3rd of 10 runners. The winner here was Aero Pearly, who had a distance to spare on the 2nd place toss. We are looking at Sunflare and Magnite. This is from race number 26 where Sunflare was travelling in 11th spot after practically being left in the gates and then finished on a detached 11th, and 10 Magnite, who's had a few starts in the season, 4 to be precise. Magnite was travelling in 3rd spot, was racing very prominently but eventually ran out of gas and finished on tame 4th of 11 runners. The winner here was Trebia. Number 9 is Intense Belief. 7 is TDH. This was from race number 182 in the previous winter season where they went over 1100 meters. TDH was in 5th spot, then stayed on in 5th, and 9 Intense Belief, which was Intense Belief 3rd start of the season. Perhaps the best start, was in 2nd spot for most while, then finished on 3rd, and it was trotting lame after the race. Intense Belief. Number 8 is Happy Morning. Happy Morning has had 3 starts in this season. Nothing much to say about these starts. In race number 19 finished on 10th of 10 runners. Race number 26 finished on 10th of 11 runners, beat 1 home. Last start, Happy Morning was travelling in 6th spot for most while, as you can see in the top of your screen and down the center in the red and white jacket, eventually finished on 6th. The winner was Eagle's Flight. 13 is Calcutta. Calcutta has had a few stars in this season, 6 to be precise, and has been slow out of the gates last 3 times. Calcutta last time took the turn in 5th spot, then when the race came to a boil was a little one-paced and finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner was Bansi. That's the lineup for the first race of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the General A.S. Vaida Memorial Cup for horses weight 41 to 66, weight 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 2000 meters. First up, we are looking at two runners, Crown Witness and Dubai Star. This from race number 25, where Crown Witness took the turn in fourth spot, was racing promptly, then dropped back, eventually finished on seventh. The first seven runners, Dubai Star, on the other hand, was racing in fifth spot, made up a placing towards the end of the race and finished on fourth of seven runners. The winner here was Norwegian Wood, who got the race by a neck. Two Felix, three Sea Eagle. This is from race number 49, where Felix was racing in fifth spot for most while, then made up a placing and eventually finished on fourth. Sea Eagle, who missed the start by a couple of lengths, then took the turn in 11th spot, weaved a passage down the center and came up with a late run and just got into second spot. The winner here was Salome. 5 is Champagne Supernova, 6 is Voice of a Dream. Champagne Supernova was racing in front into the home straight. This was in race number 34, where they went over 2000 meters, then was challenged very strongly by Main Street, and Champagne Supernova did the next best thing, finished on second. Voice of a Dream was having a first start on the Calcutta track, was travelling in fourth spot most while, then dropped back, eventually finished on 5 of 5. 7 is Jazara, had a benefit of run in race number 16, where she finished on 4th. Then in race number 27, Jazara was in second spot. Then into the last 250 meters, took charge and absolutely blew them away. Won the race by 4 1/4 lengths, beating the favourite Balance into second. Jazara today in the mount of Pete Trevor. 'We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Unknown Warrior Cup for horses raised 61 to 86, weight 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First, if you're looking at Gazino, this is Gazino's third start of the season, where Gazino had raced in fifth spot in race number 4, again fifth in race number 29, and this start Gazino took the turn in fourth spot when asked for an effort, eventually dropped back and finished on sixth. The winner here was Cool Rider, who got the race by 3 parts of a length. Gazino the mount of Ankush, who claims 4 kilos off. Number 2 is Sea Lion. Couple of starts for Sea Lion in this season. Race number 4 finished on 4th. Race number 29 was a little slow out of the gates, took the turn in front after being brushed up, but then the early exertions perhaps took a toll, and Sea Lion eventually finished on 7th. Of 8 runners, the winner here was Blackstone. 3 is Australia, 10 Wonderful. Australia was having his first start on the Calcutta track, and it really showed, because while being in third spot for most while, was really seen taking his time to get up. Eventually just got up in time to get the measure of all-time legend and won the race by a short neck. Wonderful, who's been a wonderful horse for the Connections, has been earning a lot of stake money and has been winning his races here. Wonderful finished on 4th of 7 runners. 4 is Dragon's Gold. Dragon's Gold started the season with a win that was on the monsoon track, then couple of starts in race number 23, finished on 5th. Race number 51, Dragon's Gold was travelling in 3rd spot, then stayed on in 3rd of 4 runners. The winner here was Dubai Princess, who won the race by almost 2 1/4 lengths, and Dragon's Gold finished on 3rd in a small field under soft underfoot conditions. 7 is La Dominate. La Dominate was definitely an eye-catcher in this race. This was on race number 38, where La Dominate and finished on eventually 2nd. We had number 5, Rodrigo. Rodrigo was travelling in 7th spot, then dropped back, eventually finished on 8th. We had number 8, which is Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom travelled in 4th spot for most while and eventually finished on 4th. And Outlander was having his first start on the Calcutta track, was in 3rd spot for most while in a 3-way finish, finished on 3rd. 6 is Divine Thoughts. Divine Thoughts What a run this was for Divine Thoughts. After summering in Pune, came back to Calcutta and picked up a win. This was in race number 28, where Divine Thoughts took the inside passage after being second for most while, then eventually staved off the late challenge of Dali Swirl and won the race by 3 parts of a length. Divine Thoughts today the mount of P. Trevor. 11 is 1000 words. 1000 words. This is the run from the monsoon season race number 67, where 1000 words was in second spot until the last 250 meters, where really dropped back and eventually finished on 7th of 9 runners. Earlier 2 starts, 1000 words finished on second in race number 25 and third in race number 43 respectively. 12 is Clever Hans. Clever Hans has had 4 starts in this season already. A placed effort in an earlier start in race number 23, where Clever Hans was a little slow out of the gates but still managed to finish on 3rd. Subsequently 2 starts, 2 unplaced efforts. In race number 28 finished on 5th. Race number 49 was really out of contention for most while. Clever Hans then came up and eventually beat one home as the wide outside, as you can see on top of your screen, in the white and orange jacket. Clever Hans the mount of Vinay Jaswal. Moving on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Army Cup for horses 4-year-old and over, to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. We got 6 runners going to post. Number 1 is Agnostic. Agnostic got a couple of wins during the monsoon season. This season in race number 17, Agnostic took on a very talented juvenile in Merope, and Agnostic just came out second best by about length and a half. Agnostic is by top class out of Kabini, the mount of P. Trevor. Number 2 is Destroyer. Destroyer coming back after a setback. This one we are looking at during the monsoon season, where Destroyer went over 1400 meters, was in 3rd spot when the race came to a boil, was seen clearly labouring and eventually finished on 7th of 11 runners. The winner here was Flying Scotsman. Destroyer to the mount of Shahzad Khan. 3 is Blackstone. Blackstone has been winning races as a matter of fact. 3 wins on the bounce, in 1 win in the monsoon season and couple of wins during the current season. 1 was on the monsoon track, that was in race number 4. Run we are looking at from race number 29, where Blackstone was in 2nd spot, then took charge, eventually won the race by 2 3/4 of a length, eased up. 3 runners that took on each other. This was from race number 43. We had Black Eagle, King's Retreat and Flying Scotsman. Black Eagle, who was racing in 2nd spot for most while, came up with a run but could not get the measure of Cool Rider, who had a useful lead. And King's Retreat, who was racing in 3rd spot, eventually finished on 3rd. Flying Scotsman, who was racing in 6th spot and eventually made up a placing and finished off 5th. The winner here was Cool Rider. We move on to the 5th and feature race of the afternoon, the Calcutta Oaks 2024 Grade 3 for Indian fillies 3-year-old only, to be run over a distance of about 2400 meters. First runner we are looking at is Earth. This run is from the Mumbai season in race number 10 there, where Earth was in 2nd spot, then asked for an effort by A. Sandesh and started to accelerate. Eventually won the race by 2.5 lengths. Earth is by Wind Legend out of Wind of Soul. Next up we got 4 runners. This is from the 1000 Guineas. Finley was racing in 6th spot, made some late gains, just missed out on the place money, finished on 4th. Forest Fragrance, who was racing in 7th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 6th. We had number 4 Lady Sunshine, who was racing in 4th spot and eventually came out and got the place money, finished on 3rd. And finally we had Trihila. Trihila was the winner of this race after lying in 5th spot, started to accelerate into the last 200 meters, and once she started doing that, it was all over about the shouting. Trihila the mount of Yash Naidu. Lady Sunshine to be ridden by P. Trevor. Forest Fragrance the mount of Imran Chisti, and Finley ridden by Akshay Kumar. 5 is Main Street. Main Street is by Smuggler's Cove out of Mykonos. A start over 2000 meters for Main Street, where she was a tad slow out of the gates but was in third spot as they entered the home straight. For a few strides, Main Street and Champagne Supernova went ding dong, but then Main Street decided to get a little stronger as they got towards the winning post, and Main Street today the Mount of R. Bhaiba. Number 6 is Rise and Rain. This is from Bangalore. Over there, race number 41, where Rise and Rain was a little slow into stride, was in 5th spot as they took the turn, then into the last 250 meters, weaved a passage down the center that took charge into the last 50 meters and won the race in the hands of Suraj Naredu. Rise and Rain is by Arizan out of Lenora. Number 7 is Sensational. The start is from race number 3, where Sensational was lying in 5th spot, then came up with a run down the center. This was on the monsoon track in the current season and won the race eventually by 3.5 lengths. Sensational today the Mount of Hindu Singh. Sensational is by Rodrigo Connor out of Miss Mystique. We move on to the 6th and last race of the day, the Ziska Handicap for horses weigh 21 to 46, grade 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. First up, we got 3 runners. This is from race number 35. We got Malaki, we got Marcolini and Tucson. Malaki was racing in 11th spot, made up a couple of placing, eventually finished on 9. Tucson was racing in 12th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 10th. And Marcolini, this was Marcolini's second win back to back, where Marcolini was travelling in 4th spot, then took a passage towards the inside and took charge, eventually staved out all and sundry and won the race by almost a length. The Mount of Pitesh for his Marcolini, Malaki ridden by Asandesh and Tucson by Nikhil Naidu. 3 runners again, Pleroma, Elite and Rhapsody in green. Pleroma, this was the 3rd start for Pleroma, definitely the eye-catching start. Was travelling in 5th spot, then came up with a run and eventually finished on 3rd. 7, Rhapsody in green was travelling in 10th spot, made up a few placing and eventually finished on 6th. And 11, Elite had won a race in an earlier start during race number 7. Over here, Elite was travelling in 2nd spot but ran out of gas, eventually finished on a tame 10th of 14 runners. The winner was Italian Gold. 5 is Tender Heart. This was Tender Heart's 4th start of the season, where Tender Heart travelled in 3rd spot for most while, but into the home straight started to drop back, eventually finished on 9th of 13 runners. The winner here was Salome, who had a sizable lead and kept building on that. Tender Heart today the Mount of R. Shella. Number 6 is Into the Storm. This was from race number 42, where Into the Storm was travelling in 4th spot, then took his time and eventually finished on 2nd to Eagle's Flight. And Into the Storm definitely should build on that start, the Mount of H. Arul. Eight is Emperor Ashoka and 14 Soul Music. This is from race number 33. Definitely your eye catcher was Emperor Ashoka. Was travelling in 2nd spot, then into the last 100 meters, got into a ding dong battle with Skyhop and just came out better by a long neck. 14 Soul Music was travelling in 6th spot, then when asked for an effort, she dropped back slightly and eventually finished on 10th of 12 runners. The Mount of Arul JH is Soul Music and Emperor Ashoka ridden by R. Vaibhav. Number 9 is Good Deeds. Rodrigo Connor out of Remembrance of You, and this start is the first start Good Deeds had on the Calcutta track in race number 16, where was travelling in 3rd spot, then stayed on in 3rd despite the jockey's best effort. The winner was Oh My Sweetheart, who eventually had almost 3.5 lengths to spare. Good Deeds again ridden by Suraj Naredu. Number 10 is No Worry. No Worry has been a stake earner for the Connections in this start after finishing on 3rd in an earlier start in race number 12. No Worry was travelling in 4th spot, then came up and finished on 3rd. The winner was Jazara. Number 12 is Absolute Lightning. Absolute Lightning, earlier known as Lightning Charlie, has had 3 starts in this season. Earlier start was on the monsoon track in race number 2, where Absolute Lightning won the race on a start to finish mission, and subsequently has had couple of starts in race number 14, finished on 4th, and the start we are looking at is from race number 22, where it finished on 7th. So that's the lineup for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you a Merry Christmas, see you at the races, and thank you for watching.